We're at an all-time low.
All-time low for 30,
For 30
years,
years.
right? And there's interest rates, which drive payment, and then there's purchase price, which drives payment. But you can lock in purchase price today and then have your rate be at, say, 7 like it is right now. But if it does come down to that 6, your price doesn't then have to go up, right? You've secured what you know, right? All right. Metro Detroit housing trends 2025. We're going to do a little predictions. We're going to talk about what we see happening and what historically. And then let's reference this at the end of the year and we'll see if our crystal ball is correct.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds
all right.
good.
This will be interesting.
Yes.
All right. So if you're wondering what's going to happen in the Metro Detroit market for 2025, we're going to give you a little bit of our professional opinion on what's going to take place. So I believe low inventory will continue to keep demand strong for the amount of houses that we have. Do you agree?
Yeah, no, I would agree, and it especially gives us an opportunity to increase demand for those houses because with low inventory creates high demand, which gives us an opportunity to create options for our buyers.
And it's one of the reasons we've seen Metro Detroit outpace basically the rest of the country, or pretty close to the rest of the country in terms of appreciation, because our total sold is so low in terms of total homes sold. The demand that we do have is creating a competitive environment around the inventory we do have. Now, some of that inventory has started to rise towards the end of the year. Check out our specific market-specific cities, because we were starting to see that rise when we were doing those videos in December. Now we're in January, around what was taking place. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to prices in terms of that. But if we do have rates come down, which all the pundits are predicting, which I don't know if that'll be true or not. That I'm unwilling to make.
There's always an opportunity for it.
I see indicators that are going in these directions, so I don't know what that'll result in. But if we do see the result, what do you think will happen if we see 6%, as a lot of people proclaim, interest rates?
At that point, sellers will be a lot more interested because when they want to sell, they have more options to buy later on. So it gives them the opportunity to get out from the house that they're at right now and say, hey, I want to go, move up with the Jetsons as opposed to the Jeffersons.
So if I hear you right, the spread between what their current interest rate is versus what their interest rate will be is shrinking, which then makes it more obtainable to move houses.
Yes, that bridge will be closer as opposed to coming from this point right here. We can get it a lot closer.
Which will bring their inventory onto the market. I do also believe it'll help drive buyer demand because it'll just give more buying power. If you ever bored and want to have fun, play with an amortization chart and look at the difference between the average sale price in Metro Detroit, which is a little under $300,000, and you look at what a 6% versus a 7% interest rate is, and it is considerable. And one of the things I'm advising my personal clients on, and a deal Keith and I we're working on putting together ourselves, is if you do see the rates come down, lock in your price now, because if rates do come down, that competitiveness is going to drive the prices higher, and we're going to see additional appreciation. So you're just because there's like two levers on this thing. There's interest rates, which drive payment, and then there's purchase price, which drives payment. But you can lock in purchase price today and then have your rate be at, say, 7 like it is right now. But if it does come down to that 6, your price doesn't then have to go up, right? You've secured what you know, right? You've secured that one variable, and then you get to play with the other variable and play with it on the market. It's a little bit like gambling, right? So
buy the house, date the rate.
Buy the house, date the rate. And that's been something we've said for 2 years now. So you've been dating for at least 2 years. But what you did do is you secured your house. So we already said that properties have increased in Metro Detroit, outpacing the rest of the country at a considerable rate. And so you're still at the same price you paid 2 years ago, where everyone else is having to pay today's prices, right? So, and yeah, your rate stayed the same, but at some point that rate will come back down. I don't know if it's this year, I don't know if it's next year, I don't know if it's the year after, but what I do know is I see this price continuing to increase, right? So a couple other things why I believe that we'll see an additional sale count is we did just come off an election year. If you look at historical norms, properties coming, or total unit count after an election year always goes up. And then what happened in terms of total unit count in the last 30 years last year?
We were at an all-time low.
All-time low for 30
years,
years, right? So to say, hey, we're going to have a higher unit count just means, hey, we're going to do better than last year, right? Which was the 30-year historical low. It feels like a safe prediction.
Yes.
Right? It feels like a safe one to me. If I'm a gambler, I'd be willing to put some money on that. So Anything else that we missed?
Well, it gives us an opportunity to take a look at that crystal ball as well.
Yeah. We'll look back on this, and we could do a video together a year from now and see. It'll be the Joe and Keith prediction show, and we'll see how good we did. So if you want to pay attention to what's happening moving forward, just look at our other videos as the market goes on, and you'll get to see how we're doing. All right, thanks.